I'ma be at the pearly gates and God's gonna read through my books. He's gonna say, oh snap, she read her horoscope, so the hell she goes. You can't be around me if you got crystals and you reading a horoscope. We as Christians, we have to stop with the J word. Do you know what the J word is? Judging, judgmental. I don't want to hear nothing about no manifestation. I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, we don't believe in manifestation, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, that is so dumb to me, since these girls didn't want to choose, which is odd. Think about that. Me, Jane, and Barbara have been friends forever. I bring Natalie into the friend group. Me and Natalie fall out, so y'all don't choose a side with me. Y'all choose Natalie. You have to choose. If you're my friend and you know that me and this other friend are no longer friends, then you need to choose a side. Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Meloney P podcast. I'm your girl, Meloney P, and we are here to have a conversation. Listen, y'all, today we're talking about the whole Simone conversation. Unpopular opinion. I am a fan of Simone. I love her comedy. I love her personality. I love the way she turns every moment into a comical moment. She's right up my alley. I love it. And I have maybe some unpopular opinions about this whole crystals and, if you ain't pleading the blood over Jesus, and if you looking at your horoscope, then we can't be friends conversation. And then also more specifically, as recently, a lot of her, old friends came together, took a picture, and posted it. And it was noticeable that Simone wasn't there, but Megan, whatever her name, Megan Ashley was there. So listen, I'm gonna start with my unpopular opinions regarding the picture. Now, I'm a Libra, okay, and I know that Simone don't want to hear that, because I guess if you say that, then you're not following Christ, which I do not agree with. But one thing I know about Libras is that we're very, very loyal. We believe in loyalty. Like, you better be loyal to me, because I'm going to be loyal to you. And it's a couple of things, right? Let's start with Simone and Megan. In my opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. We all have it. If I had to guess, just knowing and seeing, I was a faithful watcher of Simone and Megan Ashley's previous podcast. I love the show. I watched every episode. I listened to it in my car. I watched it on YouTube. I love what their friendship appeared to be. But I will say, in watching it, it seemed like Megan Ashley had a lot of, personal things going on. She seemed to be to have not a woe is me energy, but just and she even talked about this, she would have different mental mood swings and different things going on. And I think Simone would be there to encourage her. She was going through a divorce. She struggled a lot with, anxiety and some other things. And I think as a friend, it worked when Megan Ashley worked for Simone, and, she worked for Simone, just kind of helping Simone live her vision. But when you work with someone in a way that both of you guys are kind of 50-50 in a situation, and this person's mood, energy is going to affect and likely dictate the business that you guys are working together, in my opinion, I feel like being around Megan Ashley for Simone became too much. Now, I'm not saying that this is true. This could all be false. But looking on the outside, looking in, it just seemed like Megan just had a lot going on, and it may have affected her energy and her mood, and it may have put her in a somber mood. Megan Ashley cried a lot, and listen, ain't nothing wrong with crying, ain't nothing wrong with all that, ain't nothing wrong with it, but it could have potentially had a negative effect on Simone, in the sense that, okay, I want to laugh, I want to joke, but you're in a sad mood, or, you're going through this now, you're going through that, you're going through this, you're going through that. So now I have to kind of adjust my energy, adjust my personality, adjust my comicalness to life to help bring you up. Now, that's just my opinion. That's what I always thought. And when they were no longer, that was just my first thought. Now, as far as the picture, another opinion, don't know if it's true, is my opinion, loyalty. From what I understand, Megan Ashley was not originally friends with B. Simone's friend group. I think B. Simone brought Megan Ashley to her friends, to her circle, and Megan Ashley became friends with B. Simone's friend group through B. Simone. And I think I remember seeing something, reading something, or watching B. Simone's new podcast where she says, you have to choose. If you're my friend and you know that me and this other friend are no longer friends, then you need to choose a side. And I believe that those friends didn't want to choose a side. So with that being said, B. Simone was like, you know what, if you don't want to choose a side with you being my friend originally, let me choose for you. And I know that sounds very, very high school and very, very childish. And a lot of people would not agree with this. I feel like me and my friend, we have this conversation often about there are certain friends that maybe I don't really, deal with, whatever the case might be, but maybe she still is friends with those people. And in my opinion, some of these people have done and said things about me that I don't like. And I'm of the cloth that I'm assuming B. Simone is, right or wrong. If you talking crap about my friend, if you are, causing my friend drama, and if you're not apologetic about it, then it was nice knowing you. Especially if this isn't really my friend, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a mutual friend, if that makes sense. So I'm assuming that since these girls didn't want to choose, which is odd. Think about that. Me, Jane, and Barbara have been friends forever. I bring Natalie into the friend group. Me and Natalie fall out. So y'all don't choose a side with me. Y'all choose Natalie. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's just the energy that I get. I do really feel like being around Megan was affecting B. Simone in a negative way. And I really wish, honestly, that B. Simone would talk about this, because here's the thing. On the flip side of this, y'all had a podcast that was solely based around female friendship, was solely based around you guys are best friends, best friends, we together, we a family, we a giant tree. And then y'all just dissipate. And I don't feel like there was ever a clear conversation of this is what happened, black and white. I think it's just been drips and drops. And I do think when you are a content creator and you put your life out there, I do think that you owe it to the people that support you to understand, okay, hey, this is what happened. And I know that they kind of both spoke on it a little bit, and then also it's like, if you guys were friends like you say you were, something horrible had to have happened for y'all to be like, unfollow, unfriend, don't talk to me, nice knowing you. That's wild. That is wild. You are friends, butt buddies. We in love. We got a song together. We crying together on this show. We know for sure that we gonna be together forever, and then look up and y'all hate each other. So yeah, there's a lot of holes in the story, and I think that where there's holes, people will fill them with their opinions, just like I'm doing. People will fill them. People will perceive certain things. They'll look at things that B. Simone said. They'll look at things that Megan Ashley said, and they will fill in those holes with what they perceive. Friendships are very difficult. I will say that friendships and romantic relationships have a lot of similarities, and people grow apart the same way that if you're in a romantic relationship, you have to be able to have a communication, healthy communication. You have to be compatible. Now, again, it don't make sense for y'all to be friends for 20 years and now all of a sudden, but let me just keep it a buck, because I try to keep it a buck on my show. I had a friend, we were best friends for a long time, like for years, high school, college, out of college, best friends. If you saw her, you saw me. If you saw me, you saw her. We even talk alike, sound alike, whatever the case might be. And we don't talk. We don't follow each other. We're no longer friends. And people grow apart. People make different turns in their life. You know, I got married, I got divorced, I had a child, I got engaged, all these things. And, you know, she's doing her own thing. And unfortunately, we're just not friends any longer. And I guess as I'm thinking about that out loud, I don't want to say that there was one specific thing that happened that made us not be friends, you know? So I don't know. It's, you know, it's such as life. It is what it is, honestly. But I do agree with my thought process about, damn, y'all chose a new friend over an old friend. I don't like that. To touch on the quick topic of her moving the chair, I know that's kind of old, but it's like, who cares? Let's talk about that, moving the chair. So when she started her new podcast and she had the premiere for it, there was 2 chairs. She said, move the chair. Who cares? Like, people are like, oh my God, what kind of friend are you? That's so horrible. Like, you didn't have to go that far. This is a business. She's a content creator. Her job is to create content. Her job is to create controversy, right or wrong. And the more relevant she stays, the more her name is circulating, whether good or bad. That is her job as someone in the space of being an influencer or whatever she is. It sells the tickets, it sells the books, it sells the makeup products. Like, she's doing what has worked for her. And I'm going to play a clip either in the beginning or now where she says that, you know, when she had this whole issue about not taking a shower, she was like, you know what? Keep my name out here. She was like, I don't care that this is negative press. Any press is good press. So you know what? I don't wash my ass. I don't wipe my ass. I don't brush my teeth. Bring me all those endorsements because that's what pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? Now, that leads me to the crystals and the horoscopes and the plead the blood, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. B. Simone, we have to remember that she is a child of a preacher. I think that in life, and me being a little bit older, just a little bit older than her, and having experienced a whole lot more in life, and, you know, I'm 40 some, she 30 some, I'm a little bit ahead of the game. One thing we have to understand is that life is not monolithic. Life is just not, life is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's supposed to be up and down, up and down. I think that with the crystals and with the horoscopes, let me back up. People are in our lives for reasons and seasons. And it could be that Megan Ashley was in her life just to kind of usher her closer or back to God. And that's fine. That is fine, right? That was Megan Ashley's purpose in her life, was to kind of get B. Simone back closer in her relationship with God. Okay, boom. As a preacher's kid, I'm sure she will always have a level of conviction. As a preacher's kid, I'm sure, you know, when you grow up in the church, even when I'm not a preacher's kid, but I grew up in church. So you always have that foundation, that voice in the back of your head that's like, go to Christ, yearn for Christ. You know, it's just something that is built inside of you because you're raised in the church. So that's always going to be inside of you. So the crystals and the horoscopes, I think she went too far. Period, point blank. You can't be on your show talking about a couple of episodes ago how she backslid and she had sex. But then a couple of episodes later, you can't be around me if you got crystals and you reading a horoscope. Here's the thing, and I talked about this a lot on my show. We as Christians, we have to stop with the J word. Do you know what the J word is? Judging, judgmental, judging. You should not be judging nobody, right? It makes me think about, there was a conversation about manifestation that I had with a friend. And she was like, I don't want to hear nothing about no manifestation. I'm a Christian. And, you know, as a Christian, we don't believe in manifestation, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, that is so dumb to me. That is so dumb to me. Manifestation is the same thing as having faith and believing things that are not that they will be, believing the unseen, preparing for it. You know, all of these things align. I think that B. Simone is trying to find herself, but I do think that you have to be very careful as a Christian with what you say and what you portray out of your mouth that could push people further from God than closer to God. B Simone often talks about her followers, her fan base, the B Simone people, whatever she call them. And, that comes with great responsibility. Imagine this, B Simone, millions of followers all over everywhere. People follow her and they follow what she do, even if they don't want to admit it. So now she's saying, you can't be with me. You can't be a Christian if you're reading a horoscope and having crystals, whatever the case might be. So imagine a huge chunk of her followers are like, you know what? Oh, snap. Maybe I'm not a Christian. Maybe God don't love me. Maybe I'm gonna go to hell. Maybe I'm doing these wrong things. So let me not go to church. Let me be an atheist. All these things. You have to be careful as a Christian and being judgmental. You can't have a book about manifestation, sell that book, take that money, and then talk about if you manifest, then you are not of Christ. It just doesn't make sense. People were saying that, it's just in the cards of celebrities. They be a hoe, they be out here drinking, fornicating, being a drunk. And then the next step is for them to now they're holier than thou and they're a pastor. They take this huge turn to, if you're doing this, then you can't be with me because I'm a Christian. And as a Christian, we do this. It is not in any Christian's place to judge anybody or put them down for things that they do. There are a lot of people like myself. I read a horoscope. I might have a crystal or two. I don't worship it. I don't worship a horoscope, but I'm still rocking with God. I'm still a Christian. So it's like, that's just such a definite line for B Simone to put out there. And I feel like you have to be careful in saying things that's going to push people away versus push people to. Honestly, I really do believe that she's trolling. I think she's trolling because, again, on the clip, she says, yeah, I don't take showers every day. So give me that check for, dial soap. I don't wipe my ass when I take a shit. So give me a brand deal with Huggies for baby wipes. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she's doing. She's going to do and say anything to be relevant. She's going to do and say anything to be controversial. But the dangerous side in that is using Christianity in that conversation. I really don't think that God, I'ma be at the pearly gates and God's going to read through my books and he's going to say, oh snap, she read her horoscope, so the hell she goes. Oh snap, she says she was a Libra, so the hell she goes. She may have had a good heart and did things right and was good to people and treated people right and led a good life, but oops, she read a horoscope. That's ridiculous. And I do think, in closing, I do feel like you can push Christianity without knocking somebody else down. She could have easily got on there, made a video about the things that she's going to do, the things that God is convicting her to do, the things that, she's no longer going to do without talking negative about other people. You could have got up there and said, I used to kind of be really into crystals and into horoscopes, but now I feel like God is specifically telling me that isn't where my journey anymore. Like, do what you do. God has a personal relationship with each and every one of all of us. Where I'm at now in my journey is to no longer prescribe to horoscopes and prescribe to crystals. And, you might be somewhere else different in your journey, but it's not on me to judge you and where you're at. I'm just letting you know where I'm at. And we can just all work on a common goal, the common outcome together. At the end of the day, I think she's trolling us, period, point blank. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that B Simone is trolling to stay relevant? Should we not be listening to horoscopes and crystals and all those things? Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.